So this is going to be an intro video on how to factor trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1. So if we break that down, factoring a trinomial, tri meaning 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, and a leading coefficient of 1, meaning that our coefficient in front of the x squared term is 1. So we don't see a number in front of our x squared term. So if we take a look at that example, x squared plus 7x plus 12, we saw that if we're going to factor a trinomial, it's the result or the product of two binomials. Now if we think of foiling, factoring is just the undoing of foiling. It's the opposite of foiling. So we saw in class on Remote Monday that x times x, if we think about foiling, is going to get us back to x squared in our first term. Now what's going to go here and here will be two numbers, and those two numbers will multiply to be 12. So multiply to be 12, and they will add to be 7. So I always like to start off with the factors of, in this case, 12, which are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. If we look at those options, only 3 and 4 multiply to be 12 and add to be 7. So this factors to be plus 3 plus 4. And it doesn't matter if you write x plus 4 times x plus 3. We know that that is the same exact thing. If we look at another example, say we go x squared plus 3x minus 10. So again, this is a leading coefficient of 1, so I know we're beginning x. And now I'm thinking of factors of 10. And I do see that it is negative 10. That's something that I like to worry about in a little bit. So if I think of factors of 10, that's 1 and 10, 2 and 5. So I do see that we have a negative, and I know that in order to multiply to be a negative, one of my terms has to be negative. So typically when I have this, a situation like this, I just like to think of that instead of the addition, they add to be 3, the difference is 3. Now of the two options, this one has a difference of 3. So I'm going to put in 5 and 2. Now if I want these two numbers to add to be positive 3, that would be positive 5 and negative 2. And if we think about foiling out, x times x is x squared, we have positive 5x, negative 2x, and then of course the negative 10. And that positive 5x and negative 2x will get us back to that positive 3x. Third example, x squared minus 10x plus 21. So again, I have my two binomials. So if I'm thinking of my products or my factors of 21, we know 1 times 21 is 21 and 3 times 7 is 21. If I look at my two options, I want to somehow get to negative 10. Well, 3 and 7, I know I can get to 10 by adding those, but we want it to add to be negative 10. So if we make this negative 3 and negative 7, now those two numbers add to be negative 10, and negative 3 times negative 7 is positive 21. So in general, if we have a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1, and our end term, our coefficient c, is positive, that means we're either going to have a plus or a negative. Now if our c term is negative, that means our signs will be opposite. And then that's when you have to sort of kick in your number sense to see which one of your coefficients rather is going to be positive and which ones will be negative. And you can always FOIL your expression out to see if it does return to your original unfactored form.